Hello everyone, welcome back to IT and Research Accelerator. In the previous video, we learned how to create a Tinkercad account for Arduino and embedded system simulations. In today's tutorial, we are going to explore the Tinkercad interface and understand the basic tools and workspace used for building and simulating electronic circuits. This video is beginner friendly and it will help you become comfortable navigating the Tinkercad environment before we get started in those other practical projects. So we are going to start with at least this first part, which is going to give us that confidence to see how we are going to be able to navigate around and work around with the different components. So from our previous video, we said we start by opening the Tinkercad platform using a browser of your choice. We said in the address bar, we'd go ahead and we type www.tinkercad.com. After there, we sign into the account. So I have already signed into my account. You can see it is showing my usernames here. And it is giving me, after logging in successfully, it is giving me the dashboard. So from the dashboard, you will notice that there are different sections that are available on the platform. For embedded systems and Arduino simulation, we mainly use the circuits section. So we are going to click on circuits, and on the left you can see there are classes, designs, collections, tutorials, challenges, and all that. So when you scroll down, you see some of the circuits if you have them designed. But if not yet, we just come here and we choose create. When you come on create, we are going to create new embedded system projects. So that's why I'm emphasizing we are going to deal with mostly the circuits. There are scenarios where you need to deal with the 3D designs, the code blocks, but for now, we are going to opt for circuits. So we'll create new electronic projects. You can access previously saved simulations, you can test and all that. So how then do you create a new circuit? You come on this button where you can see the cursor and you click create new, you click on circuits so that you're able to create a new circuit. When you click on that, as you can see, this opens the main simulation workspace where we build and test our electronic circuits from. Now, let me explain this workspace so that we can understand what we are going to be working with. This is the Tinkercad workspace. As you can see, we have opened a fresh new workspace for a circuit. On this white space or those previous versions, it used to be like in the center, whereby on the left we can be having some options. But this space here is it's the center where we have a main working area where components are placed and connected. On the right side, this section contains different components panel which are going to be worked with. We are going to be dragging them and work with them in this main working area. So on this section, some of the components we are having, you can see we have the resistor, we have the LED, we have the push buttons, the potentiometer, capacitor, battery, anything that you would want to work with. In the different projects we're going to be working on, we'll be seeing how you can be able to identify and determine which components that you're going to be working with. So these components can simply be dragged and dropped into the workspace. So we're going to be able to look at that, and we're going to be able to see you drag like this and you drop it here in the workspace. You can be able to do different configurations. If you wanted a potentiometer, still you drag it, place it here, and then be able to do different edits. If you wanted a LED, you drag it, You put it here in the workspace. If you wanted a push button, so whatever you need to work with on a given project, you drag and you drop it here in the workspace, and then you do the connectivity, the wirings, and so on and so forth, as we are going to be able to look at them in the different projects that we are going to work on. So you can also zoom in and zoom out using the mouse wheel or the zoom controls which are available in the workspace. Here, you see, it says when you click on the left corner where I'm pointing the cursor, it will ask you, if you click on that icon or on that component, it will ask you zoom to fit. Maybe you want this, the whole project you're working on to fit on the page. So this one, it helps when we are working with larger or more detailed circuits. You can also move around the workspace freely to organize your components properly. For instance, you realize that when you click like that, that's how the zoom will look like. And then when you maybe feel like this is again too much, you can take it back, but it depends on how big the projects are. You can choose to rearrange the components. So you can walk around the workspace, bring connectivities, maybe bring cables, or maybe you want it to come on the resistor. We are going to be looking at all this. I am just giving you an overview, or I'm just taking you through so you see we are navigating the workspace so we can see and know how we are going to be dealing with this going forward. So there is something also important, that is the Arduino board. So introducing the Arduino board, let us briefly look at the Arduino board. In this components section on the left, you can search for any component. That's say, if you're not seeing it listed among the options, it doesn't mean that it's not there. You just go there on search and you search for it. So I want us to briefly look at this Arduino board. So when you search for, you can come here and then you search for the Arduino. And then they will list for you. So we are going to drag the Arduino board into the workspace, just like what we did for these other components. We'll drag it and we bring it here like this. Now, don't forget that we clicked zoom in. Now, we will click the zoom. So I am now just trying to reduce the size so we can be able to see the Arduino. So this is how this Arduino looks like. Just to remove these components that we had just put for testing, we can delete them and then we just look at this Arduino. It's very important. You're going to realize that we are going to be working with it in all the projects we're going to work on. So this Arduino is one of the most commonly used microcontrollers in embedded systems and IoT projects. So we can also add base components. Remember, I'm saying this Arduino is going to be in all projects because it is the microcontroller that we are going to be dealing with, as long as we are mentioning these projects of embedded systems. So we can also add base components such as the LED. Some of them were even already here. We can maybe say we are going to add the LED. Just a few components to play around with. Maybe we can say we want to have our LED here, or the resistor into the workspace that we had just deleted. In the upcoming tutorials, we shall learn how to connect these components and simulate real circuits. So when we come, you could say maybe I want to have this maybe in the ground. Of course, we'll be able to explain why some connections are going in the ground, we're earthing them in the ground, why some of them are in this color. We're going to be looking at all those. You could choose to say maybe I want to put this in a given port on this Arduino. So we are going to be looking at all those in the upcoming projects. Here we are just trying to do an introduction to prepare ourselves. So when all is done and you have finished setting up everything, not forgetting we say this is our workspace where we keep bringing different components and we drag them, we connect them. So when all that is done, on the top here, I hope you can see where the cursor is. There is something called Start Simulation. At the top of the workspace, we have the simulation controls. The Start Simulation button allows us to test how our circuit behaves virtually before implementing it using a physical hardware device. So this is one of the biggest advantages of Tinkercad because students can practice safely and gain practical experience remotely. By the time you go on real physical devices, you know how to connect which cable to which cable, which component to which component. So literally we always come here and we click Start Simulation. You can see it is putting this red warning. Yes, the bulb is lighting. I hope you can see it is lighting red. This is the LED. It is lighting red on the LED bulb that we added. But it is lighting with this red, showing that there is some danger. And we are going to be seeing why are they sensing danger? You realize things like we need a resistor. Because there is no resistor, we are connecting direct. The LED is connecting direct to the port on the microcontroller. That is why it is showing danger. So these and many more things are what we are going to be doing in embedded system projects. So it was just a walkover of us knowing what we are going to be working with, how it is going to be behaving, how does this software operate. So if you are completely new to embedded systems, do not worry. We shall continue learning step by step from beginner level projects to more advanced Arduino and embedded system simulations. This is the right place to be, and we are going to learn together. So in the next video, we shall create our first simple Arduino LED circuit in Tinkercad. If you found this tutorial helpful, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more practical tutorials on embedded systems, programming, cybersecurity, and research guidance. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.